welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Fresh Squeeze podcast. I'm your host Justin, here with Jeremy, and we are here to indeed deliver you the season 2 finale of the pod.
Oh dang, season 2 finale.
Wow, look at us.
Time does fly when
Time
you're having
flies
fun,
when
everybody.
you're recording and having fun.
Wow, it's that time of the year. It had to come at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, we'll be back like always.
Even though the year has flown by, this season itself feels like we just started it last month.
I know, and we started it like
in September.
It was September. Yeah, September 10th is when we put out the beginning of this season. So it's already been
it's
what,
been
4 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wait, no, 3 months.
Yeah, give or take.
4 months. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, and then we started back in February.
Yep.
We went for a few months then. We took a 3-month summer break.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty extensive.
Pretty extensive break. We are going to take a short winter break. Not going to be 3 months.
Not going to be as long.
But we'll just update you when we're getting back up and running again.
That's why you should check out the Instagram.
Yep.
So you can see when we post updates.
Preemptive plug to check out the Instagram for the best source of updates.
Uh-huh.
So for this wrap-up year-end review on the podcast, we're going to be taking a look back at our year of podcasting, talking about some of our favorite things we discussed, just kind of reminisce and reflect on everything we've done in the show. And then we're also just going to have a little bit of a end-year, best of the year review of all entertainment and content that we basically care about. So.
Yep. Agreed.
Right on. So, well, let's just talk about this content we've been putting out. We've been discussing a lot of things these past
couple months.
Even though, give or take a few months, it's been 10 months since February.
Yeah.
Or 11 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, over these past 11 or so months, we've been talking about this is episode 30 now, I think.
Yeah, let me see this. This will be episode 30.
Sweet. We've done about 15 episodes these 2 split seasons.
Yeah, so I feel like that it works out to be a good number.
Yeah.
15 episodes per season. That's pretty good.
I thought
15 weeks of constant content.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
Really putting out the quality and putting in the work. So, well, let's talk about some of our favorite things we've done.
We've really covered a lot of topics.
We've covered a lot of topics. Back when we planned this, we didn't know where it was going to go. Now we're here. We've just talked about all these things and expressed our ideas.
I know.
And so let's talk about some of our favorite episodes and some of our favorite topics we discussed.
Let's do it.
You want me to start, or you want to throw out some ideas?
You can go first.
So, thinking over our now 30 episodes, we've really we've had a lot of episodes with different topics. I think, as of lately, my 2 favorite episodes that we discussed within the past month or 2, I really enjoyed, because I was looking forward to it the most, our deep dive into movie poster critique.
That was really fun, of course.
And then we followed that up with the science fiction discussion.
Yeah.
For this season, those were personally my 2 favorite ones to talk about.
I agree.
I could have just kept talking about it for.
It easily could have been like a 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, but we gotta tone it down. Keep this thing at a schedule.
Yeah, we got a schedule. We got to stick to it. Okay.
Our listeners just can't listen to us all day.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about this all day.
No.
But yeah, I really enjoyed talking about our movie poster critiques. Every week now, when a new movie is putting promo material online.
Yeah.
Now, I've always thought this, but now I especially think, oh, you see that poster?
Oh, yeah.
Or, oh my gosh, you see that poster?
Bro, you see that disgusting poster? Yeah.
On the daily now, seeing all this advertising content for Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. It's everywhere now.
It's everywhere now. Most of it's pretty mediocre has been. But
Yeah.
they've had a couple of
They've had
cool
a couple ones.
posters.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this episode comes out, the movie will be out.
Yeah.
So, I think my favorite 2 episodes this season. I mean, it's close because while I do love this, as you said, the movie poster episode, yeah, and back to back with the science fiction, I also really, I mean, you can't go wrong with tier lists.
The tier lists are fun.
I really liked our candy tier list on which one is the most elite candy, and I also really liked our one about Disney movie opinions. That one was really good too. I like that.
Yeah.
So
And,
those two are definitely up there for me.
those are my favorite of the season. Anything that stands out from this whole year? Anything else you want to look back at season 1?
I mean, probably one of my most favorite episodes we've done to date has to be the who has the better chicken sandwich.
Oh, yes.
Because not only is that something we're passionate about, chicken, and I mean food in general, but it gave us the excuse to drive around to multiple chicken places in one day.
And we got to try some things we'd never had before.
Yeah, so I think it was just really fun episode and fun preparation for the episode. So.
I don't know about you, but I think that was the first time I properly had Popeyes.
No, I had it before. That was your first time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, who doesn't want to eat multiple chicken sandwiches in one day?
Yeah.
So
We had 2 at least.
Yeah.
And then within that week,
yeah,
a couple more.
So that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, just thinking about, just favorite, general topics too.
Yeah.
Food is always a comfort topic to talk about.
We should have taken like some stats to see how many times we have talked about food over the entire year. It's probably, I'd say, at least a third of our total discussions.
Which
I would
is,
say.
We enjoy it. It's a people pleaser.
I mean, everybody likes it. I mean, everybody can be interested in food.
Of course, unless you don't enjoy the way that you sustain your life. Everybody has opinions on
that's
food.
kind of weird.
So,
because I mean, just this season, we talked about
we
talked about buffets. We talked about candy. We talked about, let's see, we talked about hot foods because that's when we had our hot Cheetos and other hot takes. Yeah. Yes.
So that's 3 this season.
Yeah, 3 this season.
And then last season we talked about chicken sandwiches.
Oh, and I missed candy. So that's probably like, oh no, I already said candy. So
candy.
That's at least like what, 3 or 4 this season. So.
Yeah, man. So I'm always here to talk about food, and we already got plenty of other ideas we'll talk about next season.
Yeah.
I think besides the people-pleasing topic of food, I think the other general topic that me and you are both always down to talk about is not just movies, but to express our love of animation.
Animation. Oh yeah.
We've already talked about that at least twice.
That's a throwback to episode 3.
That's also still one of my favorite episodes as well.
Oh, I'd say total, that's definitely one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Because, maybe we enlightened you, put you onto some good things that episode.
Just very passionate about that topic.
We were very passionate about all types.
For real.
So.
I mean, I'm always down to talk about, general movies and pop culture and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you really bring it down to a niche area of that, that's when it gets very passionate.
Oh, yeah.
I really like to talk about it.
For sure. I mean, that episode was over an hour of just us two talking about animation. So, yeah, we're pretty passionate about it, you could say.
For sure. Yeah, and then, we also had plenty of other side shoot topics that we talked about that we could expand upon in the future.
Yeah.
So, do you think there's anything else you either want to expand on in the future, or maybe something completely new or kind of a spin-off topic that you want to do?
I mean, obviously we already know we're gonna talk more about movies and that whole area.
Some of them are just such broad topics, but
I know in the mastered list of topics that we have confidential, I know we have a lot of tentative music ideas.
We do have
music topics
ideas.
Or we have a lot of we already talked about some of them, but I mean, let's just say we have a lot of things in store that we can still talk about.
If you think we've been very varied so far, we still have some, I think, pretty decent stuff to talk about
topics
next season.
Yeah, because we have a lot of topics that when we think of them, they might not be a whole episode by themselves. But that's why we've been trying to group them. Be like, okay, let's put these 2 or 3 topics together. That's an episode.
You get these subtopics, and they group together as one.
Yeah.
So like we have so many subtopics about music, so many other little ideas we want to express about movies, and
whether it's gaming or something else,
some gaming stuff, and talk about any other type of things within that realm of media and entertainment. And we also have some other ideas, which, you know, since we're bringing the season to a close right now, we're not getting deep.
No.
But also have some other thought-provoking, kind of some deep discussions to talk about maybe in the future.
Yeah.
So we can look forward to some deep dives like that as well.
We can have deep discussions on the Fresh Squeeze podcast.
Sure thing. You know, the times we're living in, people need to escape reality with these kind of dumbed down conversations. But sometimes you just gotta get real.
Sometimes you gotta get real, and you're gonna get real with us right now. No, not right now.
No,
but
yeah, I think you got the right idea there. We definitely have some other things to expand upon, and like I said, we'll even have some completely new ideas to express.
Yeah, and who knows? You know, maybe we'll have, when we come back, we'll have some stories from our break.
Right.
Our little winter end of year break. Maybe we'll have some stuff to talk about. We'll see.
Who knows what will happen over the break? Who knows what will happen next year?
Exactly.
Yeah. There's always going to be unprecedented ideas that just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, one big ticket topic that we're gonna have to talk about when we come back, even though by the time we come back it'll be kind of old news, is we'll obviously talk about Spider-Man, since by the time this comes out, this comes out on that day, so you won't hear from us until then.
So, yeah, it might be old news.
It might be old news, but we'll see
about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But then we'll be within that same realm of comic anticipation. We will be getting closer to a tentative and comprehensive Batman discussion for that movie. So,
should we have a full all about Batman episode?
I think we should.
Just like we did last episode with Spider-Man? Ooh, that would be good.
If you guys enjoyed that Spider-Man breakdown, we'll do one for Batman in March.
Big Batman breakdown for the new movie. So
yeah. Okay, that could be an exciting idea.
All right, put that on the list. See, look at that. You guys get a live experience of us coming up with topics.
Yeah, I'll remember it. I'll put it down after this.
All right.
But yeah. Otherwise, one other thing that we may end up having more of. We've really enjoyed and appreciating having our guests on this year.
Oh, yes, of course.
Season 1 and Season 2. So thanks to everybody who came on and joined us for those discussions.
Thanks all of our guests. Hopefully they had a good time, because we sure did.
We enjoyed interviewing you, and open call. If you would like to come back, we'd certainly have more discussions with you.
Yeah.
So,
unless you're banned, in which case you can't come back.
But we haven't actively banned.
We haven't actively banned anybody yet, so
we might have had some close calls.
We had some close calls. We're not gonna say any names, but don't get on our ban list.
Yeah. So, we can possibly look forward to more interactive episodes like that.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I feel like next year, in general by itself, there's just a lot of big things happening next year. You know, a lot of big movies, a lot of big releases. You know, there's a lot of shows, a lot of games coming out that we can talk about.
That kind of brings us into, we want to talk about we're going to be talking about our bests of the year.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go into my sidebar first?
I feel like you should go into that because, yeah, you should do that real quick.
Yeah. We'll end it on a high with our bests of the year.
Yeah.
But something that I just kind of wanted to extend from our Spider-Man discussion last week.
Yeah, he couldn't resist.
I couldn't resist. I was just thinking today. I was like, I hope I expressed my feelings well about the Spider-Man movies last week. But if not, I have one more last thing to say. So, I was very supportive of saying that although it's not my favorite, that I appreciate the Raimi movies.
As do I. Yep.
And I did technically say that I think Tobey is one of the best Spider-Man portrayals, but not the best movies.
Yeah.
Whereas, the newer ones are just according to the standards of modern cinema, they're just top notch.
Of course.
Regardless of what you actually think of the movie, they just visually look great. So, but there's some people, whether it's nostalgia or it's just they get caught up in some sort of hype for whatever reason, when they look at the Tobey Maguire movies, they're like, wow, even 20 years later, this is literally the best thing I've ever seen. And some people, I'm like, okay, let's hold our horses here.
Let's tone it down a little bit, please.
Let's tone it down a little bit and not actually say that these are literally the best comic book movies ever.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, they're not. Let's just be real.
They're dated, and
there's some cringe moments.
The early 2000s cringe shows through, as we already discussed.
Yeah.
And let me explain to you why I can justify this.
Yeah, Justin has a theory.
And I haven't even expressed this to you yet.
No, he told me to wait.
I thought to myself, why do people, even 20 years later, whether they grew up with these movies or not, just always want to say Spider-Man 1 and 2 are the best comic book movies ever? I'm like, why? And I thought to myself, comparing them to other movies that came out within the early 2000s, I was like, there were some great movies that came at the turn of the century.
Oh, of course.
Like the groundbreaking portrayal of Lord of the Rings.
Of course.
And it was also, the birth of lesser Marvel and DC movies.
Yeah.
But other adaptations were big. And another one that I obviously feel strongly about that you can compare within that same time period is the Star Wars prequels, which came out from 99 to 05, and I think Spider-Man was like 02 to 07.
Yeah.
So it's comparable.
Yeah.
So why do people hold Spider-Man on such a pedestal when there's so many people who say that the prequels are so mid?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
The production values are extremely high.
Yeah.
The writing for both of them, in my opinion, are both good. Like all the factors that go into all of these productions are literally the same.
Yeah.
The visual effects, the production value, very respected directors, big movie production companies. But what's the only thing that lacks in both of them is I think they both suffer from bad acting.
Yeah.
And bad character portrayals.
Uh-huh.
Like we said, the acting in Spider-Man is not top notch.
Yeah.
Toby and Kirsten and everybody did their best, but it's just not Oscar-winning performances.
Yeah, I mean, for that time, maybe, but...
And also, look, especially in Attack of the Clones, I can agree with people. Some of the acting from, ones like Hayden, whoever, it gets a little much.
I'm sure everyone's probably going to bring up the sand scene.
Yeah. I'm going to say some of the dialogue, and especially Attack of the Clones, is cringy.
It definitely is. There's no hiding it.
It is backed up with such substantial writing from George Lucas. He crafted this 6-movie saga, and I think that the writing in the prequels goes hand in hand and is just as good as the OT.
Oh!
So I think it's still this is turning into a Star Wars discussion now.
Yeah, it's okay. That's why we did this first.
This is the perfect 6-movie saga.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people say that the prequels are lesser than the original Star Wars, and they're even lesser than the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
When in reality, both Spider-Man and prequels are made within... They're both basically the same type of movies, just in 2 different franchises.
Yeah, they came from the same egg.
You get what I'm saying?
However
Here?
that saying goes. Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 and Attack of the Clones are not that different.
No.
The visual effects and the direction and everything else is top-notch, but the dialogue and the character writing and the acting is just not there.
2 peas in a pod. That's a better one. Yeah.
So I don't want to hear this. Spider-Man 2 is a perfect movie and Phantom Menace is trash, okay?
Do you think it's because the original Spider-Mans were the first of their kind, whereas the prequels were like what came after the originals type deal.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that out because I thought that too.
Yeah.
That's the only supporting fact that proves that Spider-Man is better is because it pioneered what it was.
And it just has that original nostalgia of it being the first of its kind.
Correct.
So
whereas some people are like, I don't like these new Star Wars. Why are they doing this?
Or I don't like the new Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
They're
So that's the only point that can support that.
Yeah.
Whereas otherwise, I think these two trilogies are one and the same.
I feel like besides obviously the source material being completely different, the type of movie is basically the same. I agree. Yeah.
They are both the same type of trilogies.
Yeah. I mean, they're both very, highly esteemed, franchises, obviously.
Exactly.
With, similar, similar years of release and similar, probably movie budgets. So.
Right. Like, that's why the Amazing Spider-Man the Amazing Spider-Man series gets flack because it's being compared to what came first.
Yeah, exactly.
As the Star Wars prequels get compared to the originals.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just an interesting idea that came to mind.
I get that.
And I wanted to express.
Yeah.
But so yeah, all you hardcore Toby supporters, why don't you just take a fact check and if you haven't watched the movies in a while, critically watch them. They're not
and take it seriously.
And take it seriously. They aren't the masterpieces that you think they are, although they're still great.
Yeah.
So
Spider-Man 2 is not the best sequel of all time.
And it's not even I love both trilogies. I appreciate both of them. But sometimes things gotta get put into perspective.
Yeah.
So I know that's controversial, and I know people will disagree with me, but
that's the point of, I don't know.
That's just the fact of the matter.
That's
here.
the fact of the matter, okay?
So you heard it here first. I think that Toby and Hayden's performances are one and the same.
Yeah.
No, that's just a continued Spider-Man thought,
mm-hmm.
and just me always expressing why I think Star Wars is elite. But
some could say he's a thinker.
I'm a thinker, you know.
He's a modern day.
I got more things to say, but there's no reason to say them right now. Yeah. So,
all right.
Anyway, but you
I
picking up what I'm putting down?
Oh yeah, definitely. I get what you mean.
Cool. Well, moving on. Let's round out this discussion talking about just the best of things that have happened this year.
Yeah.
So just focusing on entertainment and visual content.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite movie this year?
That was released this year?
That was released this year.
Even
though we still have a couple big releases.
Even though we still have, Spider-Man and Matrix.
And we got Matrix, but
up until now, day of recording this, I'd say now, if there's something that I'm clearly missing, let me know. Okay. Yeah. My favorite movie that's come out this year probably was No Time to Die.
Okay.
What else came out this year? Because I really couldn't remember.
Before I asked you, what I thought you were going to say was Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay. I forgot Shang-Chi came out this year. I don't know.
Which one do you like more?
I think I gave them both similar scores, but I don't know. See, it's really so hard to tell because No Time to Die I felt was such a good send-off for the franchise.
Whereas this is an introduction.
Where Shang-Chi was such a great intro movie for this character.
Yeah. That
I really, but
if you at least want to say those are your top two,
I'd say those are at least my top two. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is there anything else big that I'm missing?
Within your realm of reason, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'd say those two at least.
I guess my follow-up. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi,
mm-hmm.
and it impressed me more than I thought it would.
Wait! Hold up! Dune came out this year.
That's what I was going to say.
I told you if I was missing anything obvious. Well, that's pretty obvious.
I was going to bring it out if you didn't.
Okay, realistically,
my favorite movie of the year was Dune.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay,
It's okay if you don't, if it's not your favorite.
no, like I'm just trying to now I have all three of these movies, and I don't want to be like, oh, these are my top three when I don't even have like a favorite. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. There's just a lot of good. I mean, Dune was amazing. I was hooked. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, now you got a top three. So.
Okay, I get a top three. You guys are gonna have to just deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amid all the cool Marvel releases and other sequels and series, I really enjoyed the fresh take and introduction of a new sci-fi series, and
Yeah.
Dune just took the cake for me.
Yeah. Something that was so well established but hadn't been adapted in a modern
In a modern
version.
way. So very much so,
So
impressed with that. It was my most anticipated movie of the year,
Yeah.
and it paid off.
yeah,
So-
for sure.
Oh, I don't know if you saw. I sent you a post about it.
I saw. I didn't look at it yet.
That it was announced that Villeneuve is already attached to another sci-fi project.
I saw your message. What does it have like a name or like a theme or
Yeah.
like
I hadn't heard of it before. It's based off another book.
okay. Is it kind of like a book similar time to Dune, or is it something a little bit more
I'll have to
newer?
look into it more, but this post that says Denis Villeneuve officially directing author Arthur C. Clarke's sci-fi classic called Rendezvous with Rama.
Is there any other casting attached to it or not yet?
That's all we know so far.
Yo, what if we get Villeneuve's movie and Nolan's Oppenheimer in the same year?
I'm wondering.
Oh man, that'd be
But
crazy.
he's probably. I know. We're getting Dune Part 2 and Oppenheimer the same year
Oh
in
shoot,
2023.
you're right.
I'm guessing he's doing this after Dune Part 2.
Oh, so it's gonna be several years.
It's going to be several
Oh,
years.
right. Okay.
But it's from the same author who wrote the original story for Space Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
Follows a group of human space explorers that are tasked with intercepting an alien starship that is hurtling through the solar system. It is believed that the mission will lead to mankind's first contact with alien intelligence.
Well, we already know this man's gonna reinvent cinema again. So
It's a very classic sounding spacefaring adventure, which will no doubtly come with a very modern take.
I'm sure this movie is gonna be straight eye candy as usual.
So, we're getting some big stuff in the 23, not
Yeah.
next year, but yeah. So that's that for movies this year.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Your favorite TV series or streaming show?
Okay. Probably that's new. Probably it'd have to be. Again, I'm probably just gonna say two.
Yeah.
That I like.
Okay.
Probably gonna be Bad Batch
Oh yeah.
and Loki.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I like where you're going with that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had those.
Also, Attack on Titan season 4, part 1. Gas. Anyway, sorry, I threw that out there.
Oh yeah. I forgot you already had that out.
That came out this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think amid all the cool Marvel releases, there was highs, there was lows, there was mids.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite live action series this year was Marvel's Loki.
Yeah. So what a great show.
Very-
way better than I expected. Honestly.
Didn't expect it to be that good.
No, and it was amazing.
I expected Falcon and Winter Soldier to be better, which it was cool.
It was good, but Loki was just on like a whole.
Loki
nother
was on a
level.
whole nother level.
Like the production was just crisp.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't expect it to be that cool, so definitely a treat for
Yeah.
Marvel and,
And
Thor
like
fans.
nothing against the cast, but like a show that, like a more, I feel like kind of more serious Marvel show that has Owen Wilson in it
Yeah.
was like, which I mean,
I didn't expect to like his
not
character
that he's
so
a bad
much.
actor, but I feel like he's not really in those types of roles. I feel like.
Yeah.
So when the show came out and and the story kind of unraveled, I really liked what I was seeing, especially
Yeah.
with him. So
I didn't expect his character to be
yeah.
portrayed by him that way, so that was cool.
Plus, I mean, considering that show kind of just set up the next phase of Marvel movies, so
Yeah.
that's kind of an essential piece.
So, yeah, really Disney really delivered with that one this year.
Yeah,
Really enjoyed Bad Batch as well. That's
Bad Batch was
I-
great.
That's an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
looking forward to season 2 next year.
Yeah.
But standout animation this year, Netflix's Arcane.
I haven't seen it yet. Still.
Okay.
It's on my Netflix list, all right?
Blew me away.
Yeah.
So
let me just tell you, like, now, I didn't know if Justin. Okay, if you're not familiar, Arcane it's a show based off the unbelievably popular game League of Legends, and when I heard the show was coming out, I was gonna watch it from the very beginning. And I had it on my list, and I didn't know if it was going to be the type of show that Justin was going to be into. And then one day he just was bursting in my door. He goes, "Bro, are you watching Arcane?" I was like, "Not yet." He goes, "So you need to get on it."
You need to get on it.
This dude Justin was going crazy like every day for this show.
Oh, bro, it was gas.
No,
I mean,
I'm sure it was. It was just funny seeing your reaction for it.
no, considering I have no knowledge or interest in League as a game.
Yeah, Justin's never played the game. I have, but it's been like several years.
I just heard the rave reviews. And I was like, I have to check it out.
Yeah.
So,
like didn't like every episode almost had like a perfect score.
yeah,
They were all like 9.5 plus.
I would say, yeah, it's probably one of the best shows put out this year, considering Netflix is pretty dodgy. So
yeah, Netflix is a pretty hit or miss now.
So you don't even have to be a fan of the show, or I mean,
No.
a fan of the game to watch it.
Yeah.
It was great. So really impressed with that. So yeah, lots of cool stuff to watch this year
Yeah,
on streaming. More on that next year.
for sure.
You have any thoughts on music this year?
Um,
If you don't, that's okay.
yeah,
but
I mean, I feel like this year was kind of a I'm not gonna say it was a gap year for music because obviously stuff came out. I
you
feel
know,
like
last year was pretty
Okay,
big.
I feel like this happens, like, well, especially because of, the pandemic. I feel like usually, like, every other year is, like, the best year for music. Obviously,
True.
some years can be exceptions, like 2016 through 28. Honestly, 2016 through 2019 were all, like, great years for music.
Yeah.
And last year was pretty good. This year, I felt like was a little, like a low period. We didn't have anything too crazy come out this year.
Like, there wasn't a whole whole slew of big albums.
Like there wasn't like tons of. I mean, there was a couple big projects that came out this year, but I feel like next year could be a really good year because I know there's a lot of things rumored from numerous amount of artists to come out next year.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to see.
Not saying this year was a dud.
No,
but
no.
Still some.
It was definitely a more relaxed year.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Sometimes you still get a good single or a remix
Or a nice
or a-
like couple song EP.
Get an EP.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I also, in the way that this year's been a little lackluster, is in the gaming section.
Yeah, especially because
Not bad, but not extraordinary.
yeah, at the time that this episode will be out, the yearly official game awards were
let's talk
1
about
week
that.
were about a week from today's episode posting, and it's on. It's
First, I'll say one of the best awards shows I've seen in a while.
yeah, because this is the one award show that actually I feel like takes user votes and does usually I feel like it's not just like a snub fest, okay?
Yeah.
So, because now, we usually watch the Game Awards every year because it's pretty interesting. I feel like this year it was kind of unfortunate since there wasn't a lot of, entries. I
Yeah.
feel like
It was just
the categories weren't hard to like get into or choose from, or it was just like the same four things in every category.
Yeah.
Which it kind of was this year, which is unfortunate.
But,
Now I'm not saying that like the game that won Game of the Year this year, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I feel like if it were like
up against projects.
like the games from last year or the games releasing next year, it would not have won. So, but no offense to the game or anybody who enjoys it.
But yeah,
but
still props and congrats to the
of course
to the developers of It Takes Two.
It Takes Two definitely was very successful and very positively received by the community. So.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool. They had lots of cool reveals.
Yeah. Oh, tons of big reveals.
Which
So
we don't
many-
even have time to cover.
We don't even have time for that. But all I just say is new Star Wars game anyway.
Woo!
But yeah.
Yeah, they always have cool presenters,
Oh,
performances.
yeah.
Yeah. Game Awards.
Game
we
Awards.
approve of.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was thinking, I don't even think I've played any games that have released this year.
I have, but nothing
Nothing
crazy.
Yeah. But
And if I did, they haven't been the most stellar of launches.
yeah. But if you're a PlayStation user or just a gamer in general, next year is going to be super
Next
prime.
year you're gonna be eating. Okay, yeah. Whether you are ready for some PlayStation exclusives or just play a lot of games in general, next year we're eating good, and I'm talking real good. Okay, and honestly, unlike music, I feel like there can be back-to-back hit years for gaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like obviously, this year was kind of a low point, but like next year and the year after are gonna be both crazy.
The next like 2 or 3 years.
Next year, like 2 or 3 years, are
They're
gonna
be
stacked.
crazy.
Like next year, there's just so many games releasing for, whether it's PlayStation and whether it's there's a couple PlayStation exclusives getting released on PC. There's remasters, games for basically every platform. So whatever you play on, there's a game coming out.
Correct. So yeah, we're hoping for a big year for entertainment across the board.
Yep.
So
next year, Lily, I think is just gonna be a big entertainment year.
That's what we're all about here.
Next year could literally be top tier in terms of entertainment.
We could be getting some of the best
movies, some of the best music, and some of the best games we have gotten in multiple years.
So get pumped.
So get strapped in.
Not to get too excited, but 2022, it's coming for us fast.
Yeah.
And it could be the one.
It could be the one.
Not only for the people, but for us as a podcast as well.
Podcast, yes.
In relation to all of these big content releases, we're going to be here to discuss about them and to just expand our horizons and discussions on all things pop culture, internet, and just worth talking about related things.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we could have some big things on the podcast next year. You never know.
Big things could just happen.
Yeah. Maybe we could have some big announcements. I don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I think you do.
I'm going to act like I don't.
Oh, man.
But yeah. Take that lightly.
Like
we said last time. But yeah, man. It's been a great year of podcasting. Talking about these things. Unless you got anything else to add.
You know what? I'm glad to have you as my co-host.
You know what? If I could pick anyone,
I'd pick you, man.
I think I would most of the time pick you.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, as long as you don't do any bad references.
Oh, I think we're gonna ramp that up.
Oh yeah. These are rookie numbers.
You gotta pump them numbers up. So, well, to round out this episode, we really hope you've enjoyed this episode and in this entire season and year of podcasting.
Because what a great year of podcasting. So successful. We've had more fun than I think we expected to have.
The important thing to take away is that we had fun and that
the friends we made along the way.
The friends we made it's just
lifelong bonding.
It's a lifelong precious thing. Anyway, well, thank you to everyone for joining us for this episode and this whole slew of things we've been talking about this year. Hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you're looking forward to more. If you want to express your views on anything we talked about, my whack reviews on Spider-Man and Star Wars, if you want to talk about what your favorite things of the year was, what our favorite things were that we talked about, hit up our socials, hit our DMs.
Or if you know us personally.
Just let us know, because back and forth between listener and podcaster is what brings all this together.
It's a core relationship.
So let us know what you think about things. But if you don't, that's okay. We'll just assume that you agree with what we're saying.
Yeah.
So,
and like we said earlier, remember to stay tuned on our Instagram for any more updates on when we're coming back from break, any other topics, or anything else we have to mention.
Yep. So we'll just play it by week, by year, and see what we're doing when we get back in it after the new year.
Yep.
So until then, Fresh Squeeze podcast is out.
See you next year.